Okay, now we are live on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. I'm Marcos, and I'm here today with Tainá, and we are here to talk about culture and traditions. But before we start, let me quickly introduce Talk and Talk. Talk and Talk is a conversation platform developed for beginner, intermediate, and advanced language learners. Talk and Talk is not a school. In fact, I'm not a teacher. I'm a student, as well as Tainá too. I'm here not to teach anyone, but I'm here to guide this conversation and learn through this. In Talk and Talk, we have conversations about English, Spanish, French, Italian, and German. Sometimes in Mandarin too, but I think that is not is there any Mandarin immersion happening at this moment? Okay. So as I started presented myself. My name is Marcos. I'm 48 years old. I'm here in Talk and Talk since August 2024. I've studied English for more than 20 years before Talk and Talk, but I never found the confidence to speak English fluently. I think I'm not speaking fluently now, but through Talk and Talk and immersions, I could find the confidence I was looking for to keep talking. Okay, I've been hosting immersions since December, and actually I host two different immersions, one on Thursdays and another one on Thursdays, each one at 6 p.m. In fact, I'm here replacing Thales, who is the host, the original host for this immersion at 11 a.m. And Tainá, please introduce yourself before we start our conversation.
Hi everyone, thank you for having me. My name is Tainá. I'm 29 years old. I'm married. I study psychology, but actually I work at warehouse. I like to spend my time to doing exercise, to go to the gym. I like take care of my feet. And I like to spend my time with my family to make new friends and developing new skills as to learn more English or another languages.
Great, great. Where do you live right now, Tainá?
I live in Scotland,
Scotland.
yeah,
Great.
in Glasgow City.
Glasgow. Nice. But you are Brazilian, right?
Yes, I was born in Sorocaba.
Sorocaba. Nice. I live in São Paulo. I was born and raised here. And I asked you this because we are talking about culture and traditions. And our first question is, what traditions from your culture do you find most meaningful and why? And I was curious if we have the same roots and we have the same culture.
Yeah, I think it's the lunch in the Sunday to go to my mother house every Sunday is meaningful because you can be with your family, laugh with your cousin, exchange recipes, and have a good memories.
Interesting, interesting. I think all we have this same culture or the same because of the roots of family. But before hearing this from you, I never would thought this about a tradition. But yes, probably it is one of our most strong roots or traditions from childhood. This Sunday lunch at grandma's house. Another one for my family, it was spending vacation at grandma's house or together with my cousins, and it brings it gives me the opportunity to have strong and nice memories from this time. I think that is because we have this this culture of turnaround family.
Exactly.
We always keep rounding, turning around our grandpa and grandma's house.
Yeah, special. Yeah, because I don't live with my family here, and at this moment miss a lot
I think
because
so.
I don't have family here.
I can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine it. Okay, question number 2. How have globalization and technology influenced cultural traditions around the world? What do you think about this?
Yeah, the technology is really good, um, facilitate our lives, but I think these distanced um, people with others. Yeah, I don't know how say distanciou, but at the same times it helps us because influentially our lifestyle. For example, today I noticed that the people are more fitness. They take better on the body because they see it in the social medias, and the appearance is very important in the social medias. I think this is the positive side, but the negative side, the people don't talk more with others. They just look at the screen or scrolling the screen all the time.
Yeah, the the technology gave us the opportunity to learn much more about other cultures. I think all around the world, people are celebrating things like or dates, holidays like oh gosh, that one that happens in October. I wanted to give you an example and I don't remember the name, but another one. In Brazil, we have Dia dos Namorados on June 12th.
A
But
Valentine Day,
it, it,
Val-
it- yes, but the world is celebrating Valentine's Day
Valentine. Mhm.
because of the American culture. On October, gosh, my memory is playing jokes with me.
Halloween.
Halloween, thank you, thank you. The world celebrates Halloween on October 31st, and we have all these exchanges about the technology. But yes, you have a good point about the way or the bad way we use this technology to keep us far from other people. I didn't mention in my self-presentation at the beginning, but I'm father of 2 teenage daughters. They are twins, and they are 12 years old now, and they are having a very different childhood from mine one. When I was 12 years old, as they are now, if I wanted to see my friends, I need to go to the street to play with them. play soccer, play hide and seek, to keep in touch with them. Actually, if they wanted to see their friends, they just need to keep in touch through WhatsApp, Instagram. They can be in touch playing things like Roblox, and this is okay to them. This is the way they are using technology to keep in touch with their friends. So the technology gives us this opportunity to learn more, to have access to much more information and
Mhm.
fastly, but it keeps us far from other people too. And in the future, it will probably cost us more abilities to socialize. It will cost us in health habits. You talked about the fitness fever, and I don't know how it is in Scotland, but in Brazil, gyms are crowds. I started going to gym during the pandemic. Before the pandemic, I had no this habits, but actually the gyms in Brazil are crowd. You go to the gym around 6 or 7 a.m. and they are full of people. If you go after you work around 6 p.m., 7 p.m., it's impossible. But and I think that technology and social media is playing an important role in this habits changing. But for the ones who are being more sedentary, it will cost in health in the future.
Mhm.
Tana, please, can you read and answer the question number 3?
Yeah, sure. What is an unique or an unusual traditional from your country that others might not know about? So in Brazil, you must know, but here, what is unusual, but in Brazil is not unusual, is that they wear skirts. The men wear skirts here because they celebrate a victory in the war, I guess, in Ireland, many years ago. And it's so cute because it's so unusual for me to see the men's wearing the skirts. Yeah, and they love to play gaita de foles, here called bagpipers. The sound is very good. And the whole family here learns to play the bagpipes since the childhood. It's so beautiful.
Interesting. And it's common. It's something. Men using skirts is something that happens in daily basis.
Yeah, even the gym, you can see the men's wearing the skins.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
But this is very unique.
Very
This is
unique.
very unique. I'm thinking about something from my culture that is unique or unusual. And I can't remember nothing that could be look like something stranger in other cultures?
Barbecue is unique in Brazil because in Brazilian it is the barbecue in the espeto, né?
Yes,
And
yes.
here is not common.
In fact, you have a good point. That way we do barbecue in Brazil, and in fact the barbecue restaurants with that we making a literal translation. It is running sticking. In Portuguese, we call it espeto corrido, where the meat comes in sticks and they slice it in the table direct from from to the customer plate. That is unique. You have a good point. You have a good point. You have a good point. And thinking about food, we have not exactly about food, we have, but about drink. We have the caipirinha. We have the cachaça. That is our that is a beverage made with sugar cane. I don't know how to say destilado in English, sorry. But yes, those are unique aspects from Brazilian culture that others don't know about, but they love. Another thing about food, rice and beans. The way we cook and eat rice and beans, it's very unique. I remember some years ago, I was in the middle of a course in Brazil, and the teacher was from German, and we are having lunch together, and he was amazed with rice and beans. And I told him, this is very cultural from Brazil. And he told me, yes, that is my second time in Brazil, and I love this. And I just can have this, the way you prepare beans, especially, and the way you serve it is just from Brazil. And that is, and probably he was impressed, but could be even impressed if the restaurant would serve a farofa together. That is something that is common to complement rice and beans.
Yes, it's delicious.
Do you miss this foods from Brazil there in Glasgow?
Yes, a lot. I can buy on internet, but it's not the same thing. It's a similar. The flavor is similar, but it's not as to as eat in Brazil. It's different.
It's different.
Mhm.
Great. Okay, let's move on. Question number 4. Do you think cultural traditions should evolve over time, or is it important to preserve them as they are? I think and everything can and should evolve over time. We talked about technology and the way the evolution of communication technology is affecting society today. But I can imagine how could we have some other benefits if we were just communicating through letters, handwritten letters, sent through people using animal transportation. We need this evolution. But there are some core in culture or that we should protect. So even we evolve the way we give, the way we send these letters, the core of this culture is having a well-written letter that gives the reader the opportunity to know about what is the subject, that brings the idea what the writer thinks about the theme, what are their point of view, the way the writer is handling the question, the questions he is giving to the reader. So, and the same with culture. When you think in Brazil, an important aspect of our culture is the carnival. And today we use, I don't follow carnival too close, but I know people are using much more technology actually than in the past. Of course, because today we have some technology that were not available in the past. But the party remains the same. So we have the technology, we can create different visual effects, but core aspects are there. So the way people dress, the way people sing, that happiness involved. So the culture will evolve through the time, but we will protect some core aspects. That is my point of view. And what is yours, Taina?
Yeah, interesting your point of view. I agree. And I think the traditional culture must be adapted for the new generations. For example, before the people smoked a lot, but the advance of science, we saw that smoking is bad, and the traditional culture traditional change, and we adapting. Maybe I think this culture traditional is preserved just in the lesson, what we learn about this traditional, and you just in adapting your generation. I think,
Great,
yeah.
great. Can you read and answer the next question, please?
Yes. How do festival and celebrations reflect the values of your culture? Uh, yeah, I think the festival and celebration reflect our spirit, our personality. Like you said before, the carnival reflects our are joyful, are happiness. The Brazilian people are so kind and friendly. They like to dance, to wear colorful clothes. It's a wonderful culture. Yeah, I think the celebrate shows who we are. And about you,
Tota-
what do you think?
I totally agree with you. You talked about carnival, and I was talking here in Oktoberfest because I I never traveled to German. I don't know the German culture so close, but what we know about them, they are Europeans in general are much more reserved people than we in Brazil or in Latin America in general. But the Oktoberfest reflects their culture on there are moments where we will release, we will free our spirits to celebrate with unknown people. And this moment is when I'm at the bar having my beer, so I'm free of my duties. And I think that that it reflects very well this aspect of their culture. And yes, it's impossible for everyone. In fact, it's impossible to create anything that don't reflect what you have, what you bring from inside, what score for a population, it will be the core of their celebrations, their parties, their festivals. Okay, let's move on. Question number 6. What role does food play? What roles does food play in cultural identity? And what is a dish that represents your culture? Yes, I talked about rice and beans, and it's very, very cultural from Brazil. But we have another one that is a kind of a specialization of rice and beans, that is feijoada, that reflects our culture from the time where we had slavery, and that people developed these so flavorful foods with beans, some specific parts of meal, of meat, and I think that food plays a central part in any cultural identity. We reflect what we eat. When we think, when I think about an island, about Japan, for example, it's almost impossible don't think about fish or fishy foods. And they are world famous about sushi, about sashimi, and any other thing. So what we eat defines us, and again, what defines us is central in our identity, in our culture. I don't know if you agree, if you have and I'm curious about your opinion about this.
Yeah, interesting what you said. I think the food represents the land you live, what the people cultivated in the country. For example, here is not the tropical country, so it's so difficult to find fruits, vegetables. Here there is no many variety, but you can find the fish. Here they cultivate fishes, and in the restaurant you can find the fishes dishes. It's so delicious, and they use the ram to make the whiskey. And it's so interesting because they hope the rain, and they take the rain and make the whiskey. And it's so so delicious because it gets a little bit salted and at the same time sweet. I really recommend you try the whiskey from the Scotland. And the dishes that defined me is the pastel, pastel with vinaigrette, because this
Nice.
remind me da feira, remind da feira, the many fruits and legumes. I like the pastel.
I love pastel too. I love fried food.
Fried food, yeah, I need
Fried
to
food in
avoid
general is amazing,
in general, yeah. Everything fried is good.
for sure. But you talked about something that is new to me. They use water from rain to produce whiskey
Yeah.
in Scotland.
Hmm.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice, and they are world famous for
Very
that.
famous. Yeah, the Daniel. Yeah. Have you ever tried the Daniels?
Yes,
Yeah, the Daniels they produce here.
interesting,
Mm-hmm.
interesting. Nice. Thanks for sharing.
Daniels,
Jack
no?
Daniels, Jack
Jack
Daniels.
Daniels, yeah.
I knew, and interest in the and it's interesting. Uh, Scotland is a warm region, much more close to the north than we here that live in far close to the equatorial line. So
Mm-hmm.
they need and they developed a beverage that warms them up.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the reason, probably the reason why whiskey is much more popular there than here in Brazil. And in the opposite side, we are used to drink cold beer, very cold beer here, and not there in Scotland. Okay, question number 7. How do different cultures approach greetings and social etiquettes? What do you think about this, Taina?
Hmm. Yeah, I think the different culture approach it. Here, for example, in this the sense of social etiquette, you always take a flower and give to host of the house. It's very important. And when the host said, "Ah, do you want the tea?" It means it's it's time to say bye. Never accept to drink the tea because it's the way a polite way to say bye. Yeah.
Interesting, interesting. Good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Here in Brazil, we do the same with the coffee, but in fact, people expect you drink the coffee, you have the coffee, but go out of that after that.
Exactly.
It's the same as singing happy birthday and cutting the birthday cake at the end of the party.
Yeah.
If you reach that moment in the party, so it's time to
To
go
say
out,
bye.
to say bye, but just after of having the birthday cake,
Mm-hmm.
not even before this. Interesting, interesting. If you do this in Brazil, oh no, thank you, I'm going. People feel sad with you. People feel disrespected.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Mm-hmm. It's a long time in another house.
Yes, it is interesting. But it's an interesting aspect of thinking about this because sometimes we do things like that because we Latins had this difficult to be direct, to be explicit. So we talk about we talk about in the mean lines. I want you go. I want you say goodbye, but I will not tell you this. I wanted to tell you no, but I will not tell you no. Okay, can you something that is very common in Brazil? Two friends meet after a while, and they say, "Oh, we should schedule an appointment. We should schedule a lunch." But one of them is not okay with that. So he will not tell, "No, I will not. I don't want to have a lunch with you." In Brazil, we will say, "Okay, no, call me, send me a message." And I used to think that this is just in our culture. But what you are telling me that is that even in Scotland, people use these tricks to not be so direct. I'm telling you, I'm offering you the tea, but in fact, what I'm telling you is it's time to say goodbye.
Yeah. Exactly.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Okay.
You do it, or do you prefer to say, please get out of my house?
I'm Brazilian.
Yeah.
I prefer not to be so straight to the point.
Mhm. Yeah.
It feels unpolite for me.
Mhm.
But sometimes but it's the way I think, or is the way I was educated. In fact, it's not unpolite. It's direct. It's time. I have to I have to go to bed. I have to sleep. I need to sleep. I have an appointment early tomorrow, or I have another appointment for today. And it's not unpolite. It's just being straight to the point. But
Yeah.
it's the way I see. Okay, question number 8. What are some challenges people face when trying to maintain their cultural traditions while living in another country? I have no idea how to answer this because I never lived in another country, but I'm curious to hear more about your experience.
Yeah, you need to adapt because other people don't accept or feel superior on others' cultures. Here, for example, speaking loud like a Brazilian or Italians is rude, and in Brazil is normal. But for you to keep in the peace, you have to change. But it's not easy. You need to get out of your comfortable zone and justing to do what is more normal here.
Interesting. Yes, this part of the roots of the behavior of a country is crucial for the one who is immigrating to that. How to learn this, how to approach these different behaviors, and how can we, I'm thinking here, I'm talking and thinking, how can we feel comfortable with ourselves making these adjustments in our behaviors? Because you could be someone who loves to speak loud because you think you are showing to the ones you are interacting with that you appreciate them, that you are engaged in that moment. But living in a new country, you learn that that behavior is unpolite, and you need to adapt yourself. And I think this change or changes like that could be challenging for us, for one to how the way we think ourselves. Am I being myself, acting in this way, adopting this new behavior? Have you? I'm wrong, totally wrong with that, or have you experienced something like that in your journey in Glasgow?
Yes, here. Yeah, because when you are yourself, the people start to complain about you, especially when you live in the apartment. And when I talked loudly, the neighborhoods complaining, and I need to learn through the mistakes, through the complaints about others, and I got very sad, and I just try to improve or be more distract, more yeah, more moderated.
Interesting. They are very direct.
Yes, the Portuguese people are more direct, but
Really
here, yeah, they are so ruly, very cold people. But here is not much. They are more friendly, warm.
interesting. Nice. Thank for sharing your experience. Then I think you have time for just one more question. We have the answer nine questions 9 and 10. Please choose one to be our final.
Um, yeah, the number 8. What are some
Number
check?
8.
Ah, no, number 9. Yeah. How do art, music, and literature help preserve and share cultural traditions? Yeah, I think the music, the arts help us to save the culture in our head. For example, samba represent Brazil. Um, talk about it, our childs, the favela, um, the Rio de Janeiro. Yeah, remembers how beautiful is your culture. Tells us about the first Brazilian in Brazil. The funk tells us about the favela, the people, the sufferment. Yeah, I think it help us to learn about the culture in the same time. Don't forget about it and share the funny way.
Great. Yeah, I think art in general is a way for us to express feelings, express happiness, express sadness, express what we agree with, what we disagree with, and
Mhm.
this makes this gives us the opportunity to not just to share our point of view, our expressions, our personal expressions, but uh, to make them to to make them more uh, give them the opportunity to last almost to the oh gosh. words. I'm losing the words. To give this, to share this personal impressions and make them last for an eternity, for example. When we think about some aspects of cultural from ancient people, the way, for example, Vikings dressed their moods, they could make them last forever through singing, through their literature. And when we think about Bible, it's a way that literature preserved not only the religion, but costumes from that time. So that is the way culture or arts in general help us to share and preserve traditions. Okay, Taina, I hope you had enjoyed this immersion as much as I did. Thank you for sharing your experience living in another country. If you allow me, for how long are you living there?
In Europe, 9 years, but
9 years.
here in Scotland, 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.